Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's question has 3 answers, and the third answer is a secret you're going to want to stick around for because it will tell you the difference between the books that are put online that make money versus those that lose money. So let's get into it. Today's question is what to do to self-publish your book online. Now, the person asking this question clearly is trying to figure out how do you get the book. Now, you've written a book of some sort. Maybe it's a long one, maybe it's a short one, maybe fiction, nonfiction, and you're trying to figure out what are the steps involved to get this book of yours online. Now, there are a lot of different options, and we're just going to take a look at the basic flow that is necessary to succeed exactly at this goal. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Click the subscribe bell if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check below in the descriptions for my completely free checklist that will get you started on your self-publishing journey right away. So, what to do to self-publish your book online? When I first started, I realized that this was completely doable. I had some people in the family, and I'd heard of some other friends who had actually managed to get their book published and out onto Amazon. And I was completely amazed to see they were even making sales on these books, and the idea was very exciting. I had some ideas I wanted to share with the world, but how exactly to go about doing that? Well, for me, the first part was just getting information. I was seeing some Kindle books at the time that were discussing this exact issue of what do you need to do in order to get it online. Now, these books, the reality is anything you start with is going to be challenging when you first get going. But by simply following through the steps, I began to realize that, wait a second here, this is actually a reasonable business opportunity that I completely underestimated. My results were much higher than I could possibly have imagined, but I made a whole bunch of mistakes in getting my books online that we're going to discuss them in just a little bit. So, what to do to self-publish your book online? Well, here are the answers. The first is that you're going to need to edit your book. You can pay somebody on Fiverr to go about doing the editing for you, but you want to make sure that all of the grammar mistakes are out of it. I like to also use Grammarly and use Word itself in terms of its proofing tools to take a close look and see what mistakes are within the text itself so we can get rid of those and eliminate them right out of the way. The second is that we're going to format the book. I use a program called Jutoh, which you can find below in the description, that I use to go about doing the formatting and putting it into the correct format where it's all broken down into chapters and subsections and such. Then the next step is to convert it. Now it depends upon where it's going to go. I recommend you would put it onto Kindle, but you can do it on different formats. We can do PDFs. We can put it as EPUB. That distributes it, for example, through Smashwords. You can do it that way. And then also for the PDF, it'll give us our softback and our hardback versions of the book. The Kindle, once you have the Kindle book version out, that gives us the ability to create audiobooks on ACX through Audible and iTunes that will make it possible for people to listen to your book. So there's a whole series of formats that are available, but we're going to convert it initially into the Mobi format so we can get our book right away out onto the Amazon platform in Kindle. That was our first step. Number 2, keywords. The book title itself and the keywords we're using helps people find our book. So you're going to need to know the right keywords. I use KDSpy, which you can also find below in the description, in order to help me find the right keywords for my book so that when people are doing searches, they're going to show up. It also is key in showing me whether or not my book is going to be profitable. If nobody is searching on the keywords that my book are on, maybe this type of book simply isn't selling. And KDSpy gives me the ability to see whether the books in that keyword are selling, and then I can also just do a search on the keyword for the book itself and see how many books exist. If there are not many books and lots of them are selling, then that tells me that this book is probably not profitable if there's not many selling. Or in the opposite, if there are not many books, but these keywords have an awful lot of sales going through them, then we can see that this book is it's an underserved market. So this already tells me from the beginning, this single mistake will cost you a lot of money. Number 2, the cover. People judge books by their cover every day of the week. So you need to make sure your covers are looking like the covers of other best-selling books in your exact market. So you'll just look at other covers and make sure yours is not too far off. You'll find my cover designer down below in the comments as well, in the description, that I use on Fiverr to make fantastic, amazing covers that have sold thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of copies of books for me. Then you're going to need the description. And that again comes back to what type of book you have. And you can look at other bestsellers and don't just copy their description, but copy the formatting and the general flow of their description and make it relevant to your book. That will ensure that your readers are also, they know what to expect on this type of book, and you're delivering exactly what they want to expect. A high quality book with a cover that looks just like what they're used to, the description looks like it, and it's on a keyword that we already know these books are selling. And that brings us to our secret answer of the day, our third answer, which is, if you want to break through the noise when publishing your book online, you're going to need to run ads against it. I like to run Amazon ads against your book. And then the second thing is mass distribution. Like we were talking about before, there's a lot of different formats we can put the book into. Once we have it in the PDF format, that gives us the ability then to take the book and run it through into Lulu for our hardbacks, KDP Print for the softback books for free, and Ingram Spark for additional, even wider distribution. The combination of these three paper distributions gives us amazing reach. On the ebook distribution, we're going to use Mobi format and push it through the Kindle platform. We're going to put it into EPUB, run it through Smashwords in order to get it out into a lot of different formats, a lot of different distribution channels through Smashwords. And finally, once we have that Kindle format, we can then put it onto Audible. So we'll have an audiobook format. And this distribution, this insane level of distribution, putting it out in as many channels of distribution as possible is going to ensure that we're going to get as many sales as possible for our book that we've put online. So what to do to self-publish your book online? Go ahead and let me know below in the description, in the comments, what you have found, and check up above my head here and you will find more answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.